Hi guys, so I'm just gonna go in today. Excuse the mess in the background. I'm not really home right now. But it is Sunday and I'm just studying for my board, so I thought today would be a good day to sit down, take a little bit of a study break, and go through each semester of dental hygiene school. Thus far, I am in my senior year. Last semester it's currently February 24th or something, so I graduate May 4th, so I am ready. Ready is an understatement. I'm ready to be done. Making money, finally. So, I started the program in fall of 2017. So, it is a 2-year program, and then I did 3 years of prereqs and core, but that's just because I didn't know what I wanted to do. And then when I did finalize it, I still had some prereqs to do in order to apply to the program and actually submit the application. And we only, at my school, we do graduate with a bachelor's degree instead of an associate's. A lot of dental hygienists only have an associate's degree. It was important to me to get that bachelor's degree just because I'd worked so hard and I didn't want to go to school for 5 years just to get an associate's degree. Doesn't really super make a big difference. I think it's like if you want to teach or work for, we have like a representative that like works for Listerine, and you need a bachelor's degree in order to work for that kind of company. Or if I wanted to do office management in a company, like my hygienist she makes super great money, but she's an office manager 4 days a week and then cleans teeth 1 to 2 days a week, just depending on if somebody's out or she's filling in or what have you. So I do want to have my options open, just in case, something with my body happens, or I just don't want to close any doors. So I want that 4-year degree. So I started in fall of 2017, the program, and then I'm graduating in spring of 2019. Whoop whoop. So the first semester, I was not anticipating it being super, super hard, just because I don't know, I've always heard things about nursing school being killer, and I didn't think that dental hygiene school was, just because I didn't know anything about it, which is kind of why I film these videos sometimes, just because I wish that I had them, because I had no earthly idea. I could find ones on nursing school and I would watch those to kind of give me an idea, but I had no idea. So semester 1 was fall. Each semester is 15 hours of coursework, which is pretty average. So the first class I took was I have my schedule put up here, was the Intro to Dental Hygiene Profession, and that one was just met every Monday, I think it was, for like 2 hours and 40 minutes. It was honestly kind of a joke of a class. Like, it wasn't hard or anything. It was pretty self-explanatory, just kind of outlined the whole career of dental hygiene, the history. That was a big part of it, the history of dental hygiene, first dental hygienist, and all of that sort of thing. Tests were pretty easy. The professor that taught it, it was pretty easy, nice, and we wrote some papers. There were a couple of papers in there and projects. Like, one of the projects we had to do a paper that was like outlined a day with a patient, so from start when they walk in the door to finish, and just outlining their whole course of treatment, but it was like narrative style. So like, I took the medical history with Miss Smith, and I took the Miss Smith's vitals, and they were within normal limits, and so that was one of the requirements. And then the other was we had to do like a project, like it was like a zip file, and I still have it on my computer if you want to see it, but and it was describing, we had to pick like 5 different mouthwashes and 5 different toothpastes and 5 different toothbrushes, and like know the facts on them, just for patients that might have dry mouth or xerostomia and all of that sort of thing. And I did work the first year of dental hygiene school. A lot of people say that you can't. All of my friends, my core group of friends, because there's 25 of us in the program together, and I have about 6 girlfriends that are, it's just like our group of girls. We're all close, but like, that's like my core group. We they all work. I'm the only one currently that doesn't have a job. And one of my girlfriends is a mom to two. So it's doable to work and to have a job. It's definitely gonna make your life a little bit harder. It's not complete hell. But some of my girlfriends might say it is complete hell. There are no girls in my program. There are two in the junior, so we're the senior class. The junior class, there are two guys. It's kind of weird. We didn't have any guys, but a lot of people applied. I want to say like 90 people apply, and then like 28 of us get in. We did have 3 along the way that have dropped or failed out or what have you, and then 1 person dropped in the junior class, so it's common. And then so that was like a class that I actually took, like sit down, take notes, that sort of thing. Then we had the intro to clinical hygiene. That is our clinics, or intro to clinics. So for the first semester, we just learned basically how to wipe things down, how to wash our hands, instruments. You have CEs to perform, course evaluations, and you get checked off on them. So like literally I had an instructor watch me wash my hands. And I would be like, I'm getting the soap, I am washing my hands, I am rinsing my hands, I'm washing them again, because you have to wash them 3 times. So, yeah, and had to have somebody watch me take off my gloves this certain way and wipe down my cubicle at a certain day. So that, and they will grade you off, they will mark off on you. You have to, I think I had like 25 CEs my first semester. And this is the only semester that I haven't had any CEs to perform. So then we had dental anatomy. Dental anatomy was primarily, it's thought of as a lab class because you do have things in front of you. I had a typhodont, so it's a mouth with teeth in it, and the teeth would come out, and I would have to know, like, this is tooth, you know, the teeth are numbered 1 through 32, and they'd have to pull out a tooth number 8 and be like, what tooth is this? And I'd have to be like, no, that is tooth number 8. She would just give us a tooth and we would write it down. So we had to know that. We had to know the bones of the head and neck, all of the bones, the nerves, the blood vessels, all of that we had to know. And then we had dental radiology, so that was another clinic-based class. So the first 2 weeks we met, we did kind of like a bookwork type thing, learned the history and, you know, the safety, radiology safety that goes along with it. And then we jumped right in and we had this like a mannequin Dexter that we took x-rays on. And honestly, dental radiology was my hardest class. It was the only class that I got a B in. In B's in dental hygiene, which I don't know why they don't do this for nursing. It's only us dental hygiene students at my school. You have to do an A is a 93 or above. So if you get a 92, that's a B. A C is an 84 and below. So like a C is like a 76 to an 84. I'm sorry, a B is 76 to 84. And then, so if you get an 83, that's a C in a class. And it goes on your transcript, it affects your GPA, it affects your, if you have any, like I have the Zell Miller scholarship, so that pays for 100% of my tuition. That would affect that. Like if I let it drop, I mean, that would affect my Zell Miller, so it could affect your money. So be mindful of that. So that is the only class I got a B in that semester, so not that good. Was not that good at taking x-rays. I think I just got so worked up over it that like I would rush through an x-ray and I wasn't aligning things perfectly. I did watch some YouTube videos on taking x-rays just to help me out. So yeah, I mean, you take them on the mannequin for the first few weeks, and then I think November, we took them on each other. But we couldn't do that much because, you know, radiation is affecting our body, so we couldn't be exposed that many times. So I did bring in, for my clinic simulation at the end of the semester, my mom, and I took them on her. And she was my clinic simulation patient, so I went from start to finish of an appointment with my mom. They want you to bring in somebody that you know, that you're comfortable with, and that was our big final for clinic and for radiology. And I passed. I think I got like a 97 or something on it. Wasn't that hard. And my mom just made me feel so much more calm. So bring somebody you're comfortable with. And then, but I remember being like, I like had so much anxiety going into it. Like I was so nervous. I could not sleep the night before. I literally like didn't eat breakfast. I felt so sick to my stomach the whole day. And then we had the dental radiology class. So that was the written part of it. So that was, I think it was on Fridays, and it was for like an hour and a half. And that was when we would look on their like PowerPoints, and we would look at radiology, and she would show us the normal things to see and look for, and the pathology, so the diseases and stuff to look for when in our radiographs. So that was a class. I did great in that. Then we have Integrative Dental Anatomy and Histology. That was a class that was probably the hardest class. Like, I mean, I did get an A in it, but I worked my booty off, and we learned about, that's when we learned about, so like there's the dental anatomy lab where I have to know where the bones are, but then it's like, then we have the actual class, and that's like, what do these nerves do, and where do they integrate? And I mean, it was hard. I mean, and then I think the hardest like section was actually the embryology. So we had to learn when a fetus is formed, when do they start developing. I had no idea, why do I need to know this, but it's like, when do they start developing teeth, when do they start, you know, I mean, there's just it's so much. It's literally like the first 5 to 8 weeks, and then the 9th to the 12th week, and then the palate is fully formed by the 12th week, and it's just like, that was a lot. And most of my friends got like C's in that class. And then they recommend, you don't have to take this then. Some people took because you have to have a certain amount of electives. Some people took theirs before they even got into the program, because maybe one of my girlfriends got waitlisted. So while she was getting waitlisted for the next year, she had to reapply to the program. She went ahead and took all of her extracurriculars. So she already took this class, but I took it at this time. It was called Interactive Communication, and I might even still have videos on this channel from that class, because our final project was making videos of us communicating. So I would recommend, it was an online course. It was really easy. I would recommend taking the class with a friend, so that you could kind of do the work and hold each other accountable for those, because it's easy to forget about. So that was semester 1, fall 2017. So then we have semester 2, which started spring semester of 2018. So spring semester of 2018, that was a kicker for sure. We had one under our belt, but this one, it just sucks, because it's like knowing that you have so much to go, you know. You still have a year to graduate, and my senior friends were graduating, and I was just jealous. But so we had Transitional Dental Hygiene, and then so that's like the lecture portion of clinic. So that was just like it was a sit down note taking class. It was on Mondays again. I think it was like Monday afternoons, like 1 o'clock again. And that was like how to deal with specialized patients. So like geriatric, you know, like older population patients, kids, people with, you know, asthma, I mean, just like very specialized patient needs. And then the tests were pretty easy. That was a pretty easy course. Transitional clinical dental hygiene. So that's actual clinic. So spring is kind of important, because you actually start to see patients. So for the first the month of January, we worked on each other. So we kind of did another clinical simulation, just to make sure you do know what you're doing. You're not going to puncture somebody's mouth open. Then February, I started bringing in people I knew. So like finished up mom, brought in my dad, I brought in my boyfriend's parents and my boyfriend's grandma, and just people that I knew and I would feel comfortable with. And then either the end of February or beginning of March, we started seeing randoms. So like I had my first random patients, and let me tell you, like I was saying at the very beginning of that spring semester, I was like, there's no way, I cannot work in a random person's mouth. I couldn't even imagine being like close to someone and touching them or like taking their blood pressure. Like I just couldn't even imagine touching someone like that. Like it is, I don't know. And I'm like a outgoing person, so it's like surprising that I say that, but I was just so nerve-wracking. And then my first patient ended up, like, I didn't let them know. I don't think that they were my first patient, but I've literally to this day, and I've been doing clinicals for over a year now with random patients, and I've never had a bad patient. Even if they come in with a sour attitude, I can normally like kill it with kindness. And like by the end of the appointment, they're like so sweet and like hugging me and calling me sweetie. And maybe that's the southern part, but they're great. Because you're helping them out too. You're giving them a more beautiful smile at a discounted price. Then we had dental materials class, and that was the most dry subject. I think I still have the book. I did not even open the book. Like, it is the most dry subject I've ever experienced. It's like Home Depot. I don't even know. Like, I am girly. Like, I don't really like it's like talking about cements and different like what like a crown. What is a crown made of, and how would you take care of it? Because if you know, it could be susceptible to corrosion in your mouth, and it's like zinc oxide, eugenol, and just all these words, and like it's like a lot of chemistry and chemical reactions. And I was kind of crappy at chemistry in both in high school and in college. Like, I had to bust my ass to get a good grade in there, and it was so dry. Like, I remember like being in class and being like falling asleep. Then we had dental materials laboratory. So that was like, instead of the note-taking part of dental materials class, dental materials laboratory was actually where you actually sit down and you mix these cements, or you we made with our Typhidot, we practiced sealants, we made whitening trays, fake whitening trays, just stuff that you're actually going to be doing that's not cleaning teeth. So, you know, sealants and whitening trays, and you have to know, even though we won't be performing restorations, we have to know the components of restorations, of like composite fillings and amalgam fillings, and risks and benefits associated with each one. So that was like, it was okay. I mean, I didn't love the class, but we could get out pretty early, so that was nice. And then we have an intro to periodontics. So that is periodontal disease, which is like, you know, there's gingivitis when you have bleeding gums and irritated gums. Periodontal disease is when your periodontal ligament on your tooth, it's no longer attached because of the disease in your mouth. And I mean, you'll learn about it, but so it's the whole study of periodontal disease, an introduction to it, because a lot of our patients are periodontally involved, which means it's deep, those deep cleanings, those deep scalings, lots of blood. So that class was, it was hard. Like, I think the first 2 tests, I got like 72 and like a 78, and I was like flipping my crap because I've never gotten test grades that low. I think it's the way my professor did her notes that I didn't really fully like, because we weren't allowed to look at the PowerPoint. We had to take our notes by hand, and then we couldn't look at the PowerPoint except for during her office hours in her little booklet. Like, she didn't give us the PowerPoint, which I did not like, because I like to study by PowerPoint, and I like to make Quizlets out of them and use the learning component of the Quizlet. That's how I studied. But then the rest of the semester, I think there was like 5 or 6 tests. I still got to be in the class because of the first 2 tests, but the rest of my tests were like 96s, 98s, 100. I mean, like, I did really well the rest of the semester, but the first part scared me. And then I had clinical pharmacology. Pharmacology is so, like, I hated it. I mean, our professor was like, we missed like 3 classes or something because we had like a snow day. We live in Georgia, so everything shuts down if there's snow. If there is, somebody throws an ice cube out their window, you know, roads are closed. So we missed some class, and so he felt behind, and he had this PowerPoint that he's been using to teach pharmacology for like 30 years or something. I mean, it was just ancient, and maybe he added on a little bit. Like, my notes don't make sense. They didn't help. I got to be in class. Thank God I got to be in the class, because that class was so hard. Like, only 2 of my girlfriends out of the full 25 of us got A's, and it was awful, but it's over. It's just kind of coming back to bite me that I didn't really learn it completely now that I'm studying for boards. In my boards book that I'm using, like, it's hard. It sucks. So in spring semester, they want you to take an elective, which I took over the summer. Instead of taking an elective, I took clinicals over the summer. So for a month, I think it was from May 20th to June 20th. I took, and that was hard to sign up for, because I wanted my summer to be my summer, like, to make money and to go to the beach and to spend time with my family and my boyfriend and all of that. But I do recommend taking clinicals over the summer if your program offers it, because I had only one person did not do it from my our cohort, and she said that she was stressed out, because think about it, if you finish clinicals in April and you don't start back clinic till August, that's months you go without picking up an instrument, and that's hard. That's tough. I mean, and then also we have certain graduation requirements. We have to see a certain type of patient and a certain number of patients, and get these graduation requirements done. So we have to make a whitening tray. We have to do 8 sealants at least. We have to we have to set up local anesthesia. In Georgia, we are one of the like 5 states that don't allow local anesthesia for dental hygienists to do, so we have to set it up for the dentist. So those are all of our graduation requirements. There's a lot of them, and that's a good way to get them knocked out, as well as get your patients down, as well as just keeping your speed up. That's how I got my speed up. I just recommend doing it. Was it kind of hell? Yes, but it was only 3 days a week. And I really, really highly recommend doing it. And if you don't, maybe go, if they don't offer it, maybe try and do like a sort of like shadowing opportunity or something, just to get you, keep your mind on it. Because my one girlfriend that didn't do it, I think she does regret not doing it. But I mean, it is an extra money. I mean, it's extra money. I had to pay $1,000 out of pocket to do it, but it's worth it. So then this past summer is over, and then we're starting fall of 2018. All right, so fall of 2018, this past fall, by far the hardest semester. But we survived. But I thought, like, I was going to be working out. I was going to be fit and trim. No. So no. Those workouts stopped by, like, Halloween. So it's still 15 hours. I did take an extra elective to add on to, not to add on to the 15 hours, but they recommend that you take nutrition this semester, which is another online course. I already had taken nutrition because I had ruined my schedule before I started the program. So I did take an elective so that I wouldn't have to take one my last semester of senior year. And it was like a online PE course type thing. And it was just like I had to do written labs. And it was just like measure your flexibility and do all of that. And it was really easy. The tests were easy. But it was just in addition to all this crap that we had to do that made it kind of annoying. So you take advanced dental hygiene. So that was just a sit down class. That was where we learned, trying to even think of stuff that we learned, more just about your patients and about, you know, what to expect with practices, like what kind of practices there are. It's like our sit down class for clinicals. So a lot of what we did in clinical kind of coincided with this class. So we had to do a nutrition assessment on both a colleague. So I chose my friend Haley. We did a nutrition assessment on each other, and like we had these forms to fill out and had to make a meal plan. And then we had to do one on a patient, and that's kind of hard because like in clinic I had to be like, so can I make a program for you? And they had to be, you know, more susceptible to cavities, and so I couldn't bring like my dad who's like never had a cavity, you know. It's like I had to bring in somebody who I thought might, you know, be more susceptible to those cavities, and I had to make sure they came in, because we got marked off if they didn't come in for more than one appointment. And so it had to be somebody that wasn't going to cancel on me. It had to be somebody that had the time, because we're already kind of like in a crunch for time during clinical days, because maybe the patient is running late. Like, I've had a patient be like an hour and a half late to an appointment. Yeah. So you had to just make sure that you had enough time to finish this. But I got it done, and I got like I think like a 96 or something on it, so it was easy. Just time consuming is mainly this whole semester. It wasn't too difficult, but I feel like there was a test at least one every week, and then we had big projects that were the whole semester, and then plus clinicals, which were our clinical days were Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Where like the first semester we had clinical once a week, second semester we had clinical twice a week, and then third semester and fourth semester we had clinical about it could be 3 times a week. So and then we had advanced clinical dental hygiene. So that is clinic, and again, that could be 3 days a week. We're allowed to request off, so I requested off a couple of days to go with my sister for her 21st birthday down to Disney World, but that was the only days I requested off. So Mondays, Wednesdays, or Fridays were days that we could be in clinic. And then we had dental pathology. So that was my hardest class this past semester. That's the only class I got a B in. Everything else I had A's. But dental pathology is just the study of disease in the mouth and out of the mouth. So like and just conditions. So like we learned about, those with like COPD, those with Parkinson's, Down syndrome. How would we learn the history behind it, and also how would we change a regular appointment to be suitable for those patients. And it was hard just being able to recognize like clinically, radiographically, and microscopically all these. Like, she would project an image of underneath a microscope, and we would have to be like, oh, I know what that is, and that's hard. That's a lot to study. Then we had advanced periodontics. So we had the intro the previous semester. This is advanced. So we just delve more into periodontal disease, and I did have to pick out a case study patient. So a patient that comes to my clinic, and basically ask them if they're willing to be my patient for my case study. And it ends up being where I kind of like, even though dental hygienists are not allowed or legally allowed to diagnose, I had to diagnose him in my paper and say which teeth did I choose for this case study, and what type of periodontal disease does he have. Does he have moderate generalized? Does he have moderate severe? Does he have, it's just really just depends. My patient was so freaking nice. Like, I could not have picked a better patient. He showed up to every appointment, showed up on time, was willing to answer any questions I had, didn't have a lot medically going on. He was young, and made my paper easy. He was so interested. We had to take before pictures intraorally and after. You have to shove these like plastic things like in their mouth, and like get like a full shot, and you're like putting this camera, like using a mirror to see the back sides of their teeth, and it's like super invasive. And you have like, all my girlfriends would come help me take the pictures, and they were like, you have like 5 girls like with their faces like right in front of you, all up in your grill trying to get these pictures done. But all of them ended up super well. I compiled it into a binder, so you have your pre-operative pictures, your post-operative pictures, like a 12-page double-spaced paper, just going into treatment and how he responded, how did his tissues respond, all of that, his radiographs, his dental charting, all of that included in the case study. And then I had to do like a PowerPoint and present it to the class and like dress up and everything. And it was honestly it taught me a lot, but it was so involved and took me hours of work. But it was super. I got a great grade on it, got an A. We're all happy, and I still keep in touch. My patient wanted me to send me my paper and like send me the pictures so he could show his wife, like the befores and afters. It was such a great experience, and that's why we do what we do. Like, truly rewarding, I could say. And then So that is that. And then we have our last semester, thank God, senior year, baby. So that was just by far the hardest experience. I think we all had a few mental breakdowns and then a couple tears were shed, but it's just a lot. I mean, but I knew it was going to be a lot. They told me it was going to be a lot. So time for our last semester, which is spring of 2019, 2K19, baby. All right, so we have Advanced Dental Hygiene 2. So in this class, it's a pen to paper class, and I'm just basically learning about what is life going to be like for me as a dental hygienist. Like, how would I incorporate a resume? We're learning about laws and the legality issues, and do I want to work for a corporate office, a private office? What are the pros with that? What are the cons? How would I how to go about picking a job? What's a good salary? So I am so freaking thankful that we do this, because I mean, I'm 22, you know, so I don't have a lot of experience, and when I have worked, it's been like connections. I haven't really had to make a resume before. So we're so lucky and blessed to have a program that does teach us these real world things by like making a resume, because I know a lot of programs don't, and you would just have to do it on your own time, go to career services, but this is really showing how to make a resume as a hygienist. And I worked at a boutique. Does that count? Do I need to put that work experience on there? You know, it's like all these questions are answered to me right in class, and like that to me is just amazing. Like, one of my assignments for this semester is to make a resume, so gotta get started on that. And then we have Advanced Clinical Dental Hygiene. So last semester clinics, 3 days a week still, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, for the most part. I requested off. I chose that to not do Fridays if I can, because we only have to have a certain number of hours. I think the total hours for the program is 180 hours. So I don't have to do a whole lot of hours this semester. So Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm basically in clinic every single Monday and every single Wednesday, but some Fridays I am, some Fridays I'm not. Just depends. The only reason I wouldn't want to do Fridays is because we have Thursdays off this semester, which is a first. Like, we never have days off, so like it's a first that we have the Thursdays off. So, which I'll tell you why in a second, but I don't want to not have not have clinic on Wednesday, not have anything on Thursday, and then have to come back for clinic on Friday, because my boyfriend does live about an hour and a half away, almost 2 hours away. So if I do want to go visit him and my sisters at the University of Georgia, then I would have to stick around town. And it's not the end of the world if I have clinic on a Friday. That's perfectly fine with me. I'm so up for it. But if I could choose, and we were able to choose, I chose to have Fridays off. And my one friend was getting married at the beginning of the semester, so I chose to have that day off, a Friday, because her rehearsal lunch was supposed to be a dinner, but we had to be there by 2 for the rehearsal, so I requested that day off too. So we're finishing up my requirements. So there are days when I'll be in radiology all day. There are days when I'll be clinician on the floor all day. 14 of us can be clinicians, 2 of us are radiology people in the back taking x-rays, and then we have a clinic assistant, so somebody who's sterilizing instruments, running around cleaning cubicles, basically just I hate being clinic assistant. I'm basically somebody's bitch the whole day, and I clean for other people, but I just hate it. I just hate it. You're restocking stuff. It's just you're just covered in sweat, and you have to wear PPEs all day. It's just not my cup of tea. And then there's radiology assistant, which I'll be this Wednesday. So I'll be in the reception office, which we're lucky. Our school does have a receptionist, and she sets up our appointment. So I'll be in the reception office. I'll be setting up. I'll just be checking patients in. What else? I call patients to see if they're coming. I make their folders. I file. That's basically it. It's an easy day. I really don't mind that day. So I'm almost, as of right now, we have, I'll tell you what I have left as far as patient, for graduation requirements. So I need to have a kid come in to get a panoramic x-ray and a bite wings done. So that's the only x-rays I have left. And then I have like 2 vertical bite wings, or 3 vertical bite wing requirements. So that's all x-ray requirements that I have left. Oh wait, and 1 CSX, so 1 full mouth series, which is 18 films. So I'm almost done with that. I'm not too worried about that. I'm done with, so you have class 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. So I have like 9, I'm done with class 1s. Class 2s, I have like 9 class 2 patients left. I'm done with class 3s. I have like 6 quadrants of a class 4, and then 1 quadrant of a class 5. So I'm moving along with that. I'm pretty ahead. I'm doing great with those requirements. And then a couple of just like little graduation CEs I need to do. Like I've made the whitening tray. I need to deliver that to my patient, and that'll be a CE. I need to apply a Reston down in the gums, a sulcus, and I don't remember the other one, but it'll get done. So almost done with those. I'm so ready. And then, so that's clinic. And then community dental health, that is where there's just like a whole year-long project. So we have to do like, there's a bunch of little projects, but basically they assign us a site, and we go, and ours was an assisted living. So we just went this past Thursday. It's 12 hours on site. We've only done 5 of our hours, but we just go on site and we help them. We can present information we did it on dentures, just because we are with an assisted living. A lot of people don't have their teeth, or maybe they have partial dentures or a full denture. So we did denture care. We did like a raffle, and brought little boxes of like little denture kits. We went around to the assisted living and visited with everyone. It was honestly like an amazing day. Like, it was so much fun. So that's why we have Thursdays off, is because they expect us to go out into the community on Thursdays to work on that project. Or Haley and I did, she's the blonde girl with like the long hair in some of my videos. She and I went to a classroom and we taught 2nd graders about oral care, and that was a requirement too. We had to make up a lesson plan and had to have it tailored to like what can a 2nd grader understand. Like I wouldn't be talking about periodontal disease and you know, P. gingivalis, and you know, I wouldn't be talking to 2nd graders about that. I had to make sure they could understand. So I brought snacks, and I brought like these apples and made it look like teeth. So like made the apple look like a mouth, and I did peanut butter. There was no allergies in the class, and put little marshmallows in to make it look like teeth. And we went over nutrition and all of that stuff. So that's community dental hygiene. I have a project, and we have to present that at the end of the year about, I guess, our impact on the community and volunteering, because that is important, and you want to have something like that to pad your resume. And then we have management and marketing in the dental environment. That is my online class. And so it's pretty easy. There's 12 assignments, and I can use them all on Word, do them all in Word or Excel, and I just submit them online. So that's pretty easy. Depends on the week as to how long it takes, but they're pretty easy. So this semester is by far the easiest semester, because I think they know we're stressed out studying for boards, which is a written exam, and our credits, CRDTS, and that is our clinical exam. So we're pretty much running around, but I do take boards in exactly a month from today. So I'm super nervous about that. And if you have questions on that, or I guess I could go over home studying for that in a different video, just like let me know. Let me know any questions, or if you even have any study tips or anything like that. Leave it down below. And I can do more videos, or sit down videos. So just let me know what questions you have, and I'll be happy to answer it. How to prep for this program in general, money, what I pack for lunch. I don't know. I'm trying to think of things I like. I like to see everything. So let me know if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything like that. And thanks for watching. Bye.